What is going on, YouTube? Chris with Journals, Comics, and Pop Culture. I am literally back from the dead today to bring you guys a video amidst me suffering from COVID. I'm 5 days in with the virus, quarantine, and still feeling pretty darn crappy. But it takes an announcement from CGC to get me to pull together the courage and the strength to bring this video together today for you guys. So bear with me if I'm a little light-winded today, folks, but we're going to address basically two situations. One is today's announcement of more price increases from CGC, and also I believe it was last week's announcement from Bad Idea releasing their CGC Invisible comics. Now, I know already for both of these pieces of news, there's a lot of different opinions circling around out there, a lot of negative reactions as well. So I don't want to make up your guys' opinion today on either of these, really. Again, I just want you to kind of critically think, but I'm hopefully going to bring a perspective that hasn't been addressed before. Before we get into it, of course, if you guys aren't subscribed to the channel, please take some time to do so. Like I said, man, we're getting into this COVID and all, folks. So first off, we know that less than a year ago in 2021, CGC announced that they were increasing their fees. They were getting rid of their membership discount. And this sent a lot of people, through the roof. A lot of people were angry. I think a lot of people did decide to start bringing their business over to CBCS, maybe some other competitors. I know EGS has got a lot of business over the last year as well. But I'm sure a lot of people were angry about it and then continued to send their books to CGC. I had a very, straight down the middle perspective. I said, I thought it was bad timing, but if they are actually hiring, more people, expanding their workforce, et cetera, working on quality control, I think in the long term, this is expected. And it's a given, but it was just very bad timing. And I said, I'm optimistic about the future. And then a couple months back, we got this announcement saying that they're caught up. These wait times that crossed over, turnaround times that crossed over the 100-day mark. We got this announcement saying we're all caught up. Don't worry. But here we are now in January of 2022. And as of January 18th, as it says here, they're increasing their prices by a couple more dollars. The 22 modern charge is now going up to 24. Your economy tier going up to 35, and so forth. Standard tier going up to 80. So the interesting thing about this is that let's look at some of the details. Well, they continue to say that these price increases are due to increase in demand, and they're putting more money into resources and staff and et cetera, right? Expansion. But as of today, as of the announcement of these price increases, turnaround time is now longer than it was when they increased the prices the first time. So I'm not advocating for this to be a reason to be upset about this. I'm just saying, I'm playing devil's advocate here. What are we changing here to justify these price increases? Now, a lot of people will say inflation, which, hey, it's a valid argument. It is a valid argument. But I'll play devil's advocate again and say, I guarantee you that even if they are spending more money, CGC that is, into resources, their profit margin has increased probably exponentially over the last 20 plus months or so. All right, so I'm not going to sit here and argue if this is a good thing or a bad thing. I do want to add this, though, as well. These prices put CGC prices of their modern tier, basically anything valued at $250 or under, at about 40 to 50% higher than CBCS. That's a large amount. That is a large amount, folks. Now, keep in mind, CBCS does have about the similar type of wait time right now, too. I mean, they are definitely backed up as well. Here's an interesting thing, too, though. For anything that has a value over $400, CGC is still a couple dollars cheaper than CBCS. So I'm just throwing all of this out there for you guys to make your own decisions. So I'm going to talk about the bad idea situation right now. Many of you probably got the email. I got the email stating that Bad Idea is releasing this invisible comic. And look, I've been an advocate for Bad Idea since they came about. And, at first I was a little skeptic, but then we had our interview with Dinesh, and I was really open-minded to what they were doing, and I think they've been making solid product for sure. But when I heard about this, I did have a big question mark. I'm not gonna lie. It seems like they are trying to sell these comics, which is another big question mark to me as well. At first, I was like, well, is this just a giveaway thing? If it's a gimmick giveaway, then I'm all for it. There's got to be more than meets the eye here, though. I don't think Bad Idea is going to sell you just an invisible comic that's graded. I think there's something else that we don't know about yet. I'm not here to, pick up a pitchfork or say good things about this rollout by Bad Idea. That's for you guys to decide. I'm on the fence about it, and I really have no personal opinion further than the things that I just stated. But I'm going to tell you what the real issue here. The real issue isn't, oh, this is Bad Idea, stealing your money. This is just garbage antics. This is ruining the hobby and all that. Look, it's none of that in my humble opinion. The real red flag with this Bad Idea rollout has nothing to do with Bad Idea at all. No, the real problem with this Bad Idea CGC graded invisible comic has everything to do with CGC. That's right, CGC. And what do I mean by that, folks? Well, we already know that over the last year or so, since the original price hikes, there's been a very common argument of, look, we would be okay with it if you guys fixed your turnaround time, handled quality control, and, proved to us that customers come first. And a lot of that has been put to the wayside, a lot of people say, because of signature series events. People believe that CGC is taking a lot of their main resources and putting your standard blue label graded comic book orders on the back burner, sitting in the warehouses for months, so they can take all their resources for these CGC SS signings. And I'm not going to sit here and say that people stating that are wrong. Now, nobody really knows what goes on behind the closed doors, but it's a valid argument. And I've said this before. I said CGC needs to compartmentalize their avenues of business. I think they need to have a specific labor force for standard orders. They need to have a specific labor force for fast track orders. And then they need to have a specific labor force for SS series orders. And only when one of those avenues of business is slow, meaning, if there's downtime, if there's no CGC SS signing going on or event going on, you take that labor force, and then you can bring them over to help the standard blue label orders. And then when the signature series hops back up again, then you move those people back over that. Now, I don't even know if they have anything like this going on. I just think that's only fair. But the problem here now, and that I think is going to get a lot of people worked up, you got CGC partnering with the publishing company to basically, and there is something in the slab, folks. It's some type of poly centerfold that has staples in it. So it's not just an empty slab. So they're actually producing this poly plastic, putting staples in it, and folding it. And then CGC is putting it into the cases and sealing it and putting a label on it and putting a grade on it, just like they would any other comic. CGC is partnering with a publisher, taking their resources. When you have people waiting on their comic books literally for over 12 months, and they're raising prices on these people. Comic books are still coming back upside down, cracked, the wrong label, a DC label on a Marvel book, hairs inside of the cases, but they're now taking their resources to grade gimmick books for a publisher. This is a problem to me. And look, you guys know me. I'm always honest. I can't help it. What I do when I speak my mind is because I believe in what I say, and it's not to pick up a pitchfork against anybody. It's not because I have real issues with CGC. I support CGC. I want CGC to succeed. I support Bad Idea to the fullest. To the fullest. I support CBCS. I support EGS. But anytime there comes an issue that involves the community, the collector, and the greater good for us as collectors, as a community, and as consumers, and for these entities as business, you guys know what I like to do. I always take a balanced approach of my business understanding and as a collector. And I put those two things together and I speak my mind. So, with that being said, I would like to know what you all think about these issues that are arising with CGC. I do want everyone to take heed, though. Don't be emotional. You do have to understand inflation is real, okay? CGC is, you got to understand that their demand is through the roof. You can't knock them for that. But I can see from both sides here. And I can definitely see valid arguments from both sides. And I just ask you all, don't go into this with emotions and say, oh, now I got to pay more and just be mad about that. No. Look at this from both sides as well. Even when it comes to the Bad Idea thing, don't just sit here and blame Bad Idea for some silly, gimmick. Whatever's going to come out of this, it might blow our minds. This might blow our minds and be something really amazing that we didn't see coming. But like I said, the big question mark is just, it's very questionable. It is very questionable for me that CGC is going to take on this responsibility when they have thousands and thousands and thousands of customers wanting answers. And it may boil down to transparency with CGC. It may boil down to that everything that they're doing is justified. But we continue to see a lack of transparency with them. And I said this when I made a video about their last announcement of being caught up. That was very cryptic. And you guys could go watch my video. That was a very, very cryptic statement. And I didn't like how they made that statement. And I gave them the benefit of the doubt. I did. But here we are again. With a lack of transparency, they're saying the same thing. They're saying the same thing in this letter. They're saying the same thing about why all these increases are happening. So you guys sit on this and be the judge. And I would love to hear what you guys think in the comments below. Whew. Thank you guys for bearing with me today. I am literally now going to end this video, pop a couple more Tylenol, down a bottle of water, take another zinc lozenge, and pass the hell out so I can beat this monster of COVID. I hope you all are safe out there. Be kind to others. Be kind to yourself. Thank you for watching, and until next time. PopCultureZone.com is an online shop focusing on hot new comics, including exclusive and incentive variants, CGC graded comics, and tons of other inventory, including pop culture toys and other collectibles, all at low and competitive prices. PopCultureZone.com ships all over the US for a flat rate charge of only $4.99. That's right, $4.99, and there's no taxes included, excluding New Jersey. Pop Culture Zone is also on eBay, where they hold a 100% positive feedback rating with over 8,000 completed transactions for this year alone. Make sure to check out the link to their website below, as well as their eBay link, so be sure to give them a follow there as well.